Joining us now, two distinguished House members to help us out on these issues. Paul Tonko, Democrat from New York. David Schweikert, Republican from Arizona. David Schweikert, I go to you first. Is Robert Costa right? Is the debt deal going to be where the action is? Because you got to have a CR. You got to have a continuing resolution beginning October 1st. So far as I know, Speaker Boehner wants to keep the sequester in the continuing resolution. He's not going to give that up, and there's not going to be a clean bill. There'll be more spending cuts there. What do you hear on the CR? Well, let's start there.
Well, Larry, and hi, Paul. I got to tell you, I think it may turn out to be more complicated than that. I know that is what the Speaker has laid out on the table. But now that Jack Lew and Treasury have moved back the date, or shall we say up the date, on hitting the debt ceiling, are you now looking at an environment where you're going to be seeing many of us say, let's do a total package?
All right, one package. Paul Tonko, let me get your response to that. If you may speak for the Democrats, but can it all be done in one package? Remember, Boehner is saying, and this is very important, Paul, Boehner has said any number of times, including a couple days ago before some kind of Republican conference call, that he will keep the spending sequester caps. He has said that. President Obama desperately wants to get rid of the sequester spending caps to spend on his pet projects. How's this going to work out?
Well, let's hope that we do the right thing here, Larry, and it's good to join you and Dave, my colleague and friend from Arizona. Look, we know what we have to do. Kicking the can down the road, in other words, a continuing resolution, just avoids dealing with the issues at hand and creates yet another congressionally imposed crisis. America doesn't want that. What we can do here is take the House version of a budget. The United States Senate has adopted its version of a budget. The President has issued a fiscal plan sent over to Congress. Let's name the conferees. I encourage the leadership in the House to name conferees so we can come to the table, deal with the situation that provides certainty for Americans, businesses, and for the middle-income community, and move forward with the budget that is sound, and we can go on with business that is absolutely essential right now.
All right, well, Dave Schweikert, there's another piece that I want to bring in, very important, and that is ObamaCare, as you know. Now, over the weekend, Senator Ted Cruz said defunding Obamacare is not there. The votes aren't there. He's acknowledging that. He's going to continue his analysis and his crusade, but that's not going to happen. However, Dave Schweikert, Republicans in the House and many in the Senate want to delay the individual mandate. And many believe that delay of the individual mandate should be part of either a continuing resolution and or a debt ceiling with some leverage. Yeah. What is your take on that? Can it happen? Will it go over to the Senate for a vote?
Yeah, and Larry, you got to be a little careful because you may be negotiating a little ahead of us right now. And, you know, Paul actually hit sort of one of the points a lot of us are pushing for. There's a concept called an omnibus budget bill, that we finally take our budgets because we need to fix our prioritization, our spending. We've been living on this continuing resolution insanity for 4 years now. It's time we lay out our priorities. And yes, there's going to be headbutting because the Senate and the President are going to have different priorities than those of us in the Republican conference. And yes, got to tell you, there's people like me that want to absolutely keep the sequestration numbers. There's people like me that want to defund or actually change those priorities in Obamacare. But that's actually an opportunity that's coming up. Could you do that omnibus budget package and some solutions on the debt ceiling? And I will tell you, there's actually, you need to be a little more creative than we've been in both the way we prioritize the debt. There are actually options out there.
Well, okay, but all right, but Paul Tonko, Speaker Boehner has said again and again, so has Eric Cantor, and I think I just heard Dave Schweikert say that. They don't want to shut down the government. They do not want to shut down the government. But that's the continuing resolution part. That's the discretionary spending part. Okay. The debt ceiling part is completely different. And as you know, Paul, a majority of Republicans in the House, a very large majority, and many in the Senate, and maybe some Democrats in the Senate up for election, they want to do something about Obamacare and the unfairness of the individual mandate, which has no security to it. As you know, while the business mandate was put off a year, they want to delay the individual mandate. That vote is a very important vote. Can it be part of a debt deal? That's what I'm asking.
I don't think it should be. Look, the president who signed the Affordable Care Act has since then been reelected. The highest court in the land, the Supreme Court, defended the law. They said it meets the constitutional test. Let us go on and get to the business of belt-tightening, investing where we must after we cut where we can. And we need to do a sound budget here. We need to go forward and not continue to go forward with this repeal of the Affordable Care Act. You know, my district, I know that people want their right to accessible, affordable health care, quality health care. They don't want a repeal. They want improvement. So let's improve together.
I hear
repeal. I don't hear replace.
It's delay. Dave Schweikert, I'm going to give you the last word. What's out there now, as a matter of politics and policy, is an effort to delay for at least a year the individual mandate, okay? There's no verification. There's no firewall security. The consumer caps were removed. You know the story. There's
look, I can't
good reason to delay. The question I'm asking you is, will the debt ceiling issue, will that be used as leverage to have a discussion or a vote on delaying the individual mandate? That's what people are asking.
Okay, Larry, I get this question all the time. How could the president do the extension for a year for businesses and not for individuals? But I need you to think a little bigger. At least as this begins, a lot of us are going to demand a lot more than just the delay of the individual mandate.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thanks. Our Congressman Paul Tonko, we appreciate it.
Why delay the Affordable Care Act when it cuts the deficit?
Sorry? Wait, one more, last one?
Well, and actually,
why are you going to delay
when you look at who's modeling the numbers, actually, that's actually lunacy when you actually look what it ultimately does in the creation of entitlement.
All right, I don't have time to get there, but my interest is, look, I am opposed personally. I mean, I'm telling you, Wall Street, financial markets, global financial markets will go nuts, as they did a couple of years ago, if there's a threat of a debt default, okay? Debt default, I'm telling you, is a non-starter financially, economically,
I couldn't agree more.
And Larry, no one's talking about default.
I understand, but I'm just saying.
We have plenty
don't mess with the creditworthiness of the United States.
To cover our interest obligations.
I understand, but that argument doesn't work for more than a few days. I see a clash.
But you got to stop using that language because it's incorrect.
No, it is correct. I don't have time to argue with you, but Dave Schweikert, I will tell you that is completely incorrect. The government cannot finance itself one by one, day by day, the way that you guys are talking about. You can't do it.
One more time. Go back to August 2011 and look at the bond market and the equity market.
It was a catastrophe.
Bond market was amazingly stable.
I understand, but the stock market cracked up. The stock market cracked up because that's where the capital was pulled out. That's where the capital was pulled out. It was never a bond event.
But if it's a default, it would be the debt markets. So you got something wrong out there in the
American families.
You could default.
America's families pay their bills. They expect their country to do the same
thing.
Look,
you could cover the interest on the debt.
So let's get on with the business of a budget.
Right, you can't cover military spending. You can't cover veteran spending. You can't cover a million things. I'll go through this arithmetic one more time this year, the way I did in 2011. I got to get out of here. I'm going to try it again.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks,
Paul Tonko, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Larry.
Dave Schweikert, we appreciate it.
See you, Dave.
Folks, please don't forget, tomorrow morning, 7:30 Eastern on Squawk Box, CNBC's John Harwood will have an exclusive interview with Treasury Secretary.